Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to our webinar today on BPO Traffic Controller. My name is Matt Duncan. I'm a customer support advisor here at Realty Pilot. Appreciate you joining us. What we're going to be going over today is basic account setup. We will start from the very first time that you log into your account, and then we'll go over some features of BPO Traffic Controller, such as BPO automation, different reporting, things like that. If you're looking for training on Concourse 360, listing management, commissions, expenses, things like that, please visit our webinar page and sign up for our Concourse 360 webinar, which is on a separate day. So let's get started. We will log into our account. And again, assuming this is the first time you've ever logged in, we're going to start with basic account details. You'll notice that once we've logged in, up here we see a big yellow exclamation point over account. That means that we're missing some information before we're ready to proceed. So if we hover over that tab, we get a drop-down menu, and we see that the missing information is under account details. So when we click there, our account details are brought up, and we have a red prompt and exclamation point telling us exactly what is missing. In this case, we are missing our E&O and license files. So down here, we'll click the blue Edit button. And before we move any further to upload anything, we want to make sure that everything we entered on our account when we signed up is correct, including brokerage name, address, your first and last name, address, phone numbers, etc. Once that's all correct, you want to go to your license, click Select File, and you can upload a copy of your license. Enter the expiration date and your E&O company name, expiration date, and policy number. And then you want to, by clicking Select File, upload a copy of your E&O declarations page. This is very, very important because we do have companies that are sending out assignments through our software, and in order for you to be eligible for as many assignments as possible, you want to make sure that you do have up-to-date license and E&O information on your account. If you don't have it there, you are invisible to these asset servicers that are assigning work through our system. The next thing that you want to do is add any memberships or designations that you may have. This is optional, but a particular asset manager may decide to make a membership or a designation a requirement for an individual BPO or listing assignment, so you want to have as much information as you possibly can. You do have the last section, which is an optional bio for you to fill in here, and when everything here is up to date, click Save. And notice that since I did not save that information, the exclamation points have not gone away, meaning that I'm still not ready to go. Once everything is in there, the yellow exclamation point and this red prompt will both go away. The next tab under Account Details is our tax information. This is where you can upload a completed W-9 for your company. If you do not have a completed one to upload, we very conveniently have a link down here where you can download a blank W-9, fill it, scan it, and then upload it here. The next tab is RPNet. This does not pertain to BPO Traffic Controller, but rather Concourse 360 and our sister site, which is OfferRunway.com. If you do not have an OfferRunway account, I do suggest that you get one. OfferRunway is completely free and is a publicly viewed offer acceptance system. So anyone can make an offer on any one of your listings, and if your OfferRunway account and your Concourse account are synced here under this section, any listing that you enter on your Concourse account will appear on OfferRunway, and any offer that is made on OfferRunway.com will appear here in your Concourse account. The next tab is our brokerage account. If you are the managing broker of your company, you want to make sure that you fill out this section by uploading your company license and your personal license as the managing broker of that company. Once you do that and click Save Broker Information, this will create a broker account request, which will be sent to our customer support department. We will review it, and once we've verified that you, the account holder listed up here, are actually the managing broker on the account, we'll approve that, and you'll be issued a company ID, which you see right here. That company ID is to be given to any agents that work for you, so that when they sign up for their own account and enter this company ID, their account is now tied to yours so that you can assign tasks, BPOs, take a look at their commissions, listings, etc. Our checking tab is where you can select a check style depending on what type of paper you're using. Upload a company logo, enter company information and bank account information so that you can actually print checks out of Concourse 360. And the last tab under account details is our signature tab where you can upload an electronic signature to keep on file in your account. Once you've done all of these things, your account details are set up. The next step that you want to take is back under the account tab. Where we get that drop down, we want to go to MLS information. When you signed up, you should have already entered one MLS onto your account, and that will appear on top. If you're a member of multiple MLSs, you can add an additional MLS by clicking Add MLS Access, selecting the state, and then selecting that particular MLS within that state. You'll notice that we also have information for RETS username and password. These fields should be left blank unless your managing broker has already given you a RETS username and password because they've activated a RETS connection with your MLS for importing data, or if we've sent you instructions on what to do with your MLS. So once you've added this MLS and you've left this blank and selected Add, they will appear in your list of MLSs on your account, and then what you want to do is you want to send an email to our MLS department at rets@realtypilot.com, and I'm entering that into the chat in the corner, and ask them if there are any steps left to take for you to activate that RETS connection. The last step of setting up your account will be up here next to your name. You see where it says zips. We're going to click there, and you want to add all of the zips that you service. This is also important for companies that are assigning work through our system, as you are not eligible for a particular assignment if you do not have that zip code on your account. So you can add a single zip by clicking Add Zip, or you can add multiples at one time by clicking the Add Zips button. Select a state, county, and city. And when you click Add, the system will add all of the zips in that city to your account. Once you've done all three of those things, account details, MLS information, and your zips, your account is pretty much set up and ready to go. You're ready to start accepting work and completing BPOs. So we'll move forward to the BPO functionality. Up under the Properties tab, we have a general overview of several different categories, one of them being BPOs. That's what we're going to cover today. So if we hover over BPOs, we get several different categories. We're going to start with BPO List. And that brings us to our list of active BPOs. Under the Active BPO tab, we have two separate lists. One that says Active BPOs. These are any BPOs that have been assigned to you by an asset company or that you have created in your account, but they have not been completed and thus are not ready to be sent to the asset servicer. The second list under here is Available Asset BPOs. These are BPOs that have been made available by an asset manager for you to claim. Down here we have a legend of all of our functions that you'll see on the right-hand column. And if a BPO is open to be claimed from an asset manager, notice we have a little green flag that says Claim, and it will move that BPO from this bottom list up to this top list so that it may be worked. Our other tabs under our BPO list are QC, which stands for Quality Control. Any BPO that is assigned to you or claimed by you from an asset company in our system, once it's completed, will be moved to Quality Control so that the asset manager can review it for accuracy, and they can actually send it back to you with notes on it for any revisions you need to make. Once you've completed a BPO that you've received outside of our system and added manually, it will move to the To Be Paid tab, which means you have completed it. It is ready to send to the asset servicer, but you have not told the program that you've been paid by the servicer for that BPO. Once it's completed and you've told the system that you have been paid for it, it will move to the Completed tab. And of course, if you have deleted that BPO, it will move to the Deleted tab. So we'll start by adding a new BPO by clicking Add New BPO here. We get a dialog box where we'll start with the reference number, which is typically a BPO number or REO ID assigned to this particular BPO by the asset servicer. If you don't have one, just enter a number because it is a required field. We'll select the BPO form. We have several different forms in here. The first form being the comps only form. This is used for 99% of all servicers. So we'll start with the comps only form. Select the asset company that ordered the BPO. Enter the due date. Due time. And where it says select macro, unless you are dealing with an asset company whose website is only viewable in Internet Explorer, leave that section blank. We no longer use macros for almost all of the asset companies in our system. We now have an integrated browser extension, which I'll show you momentarily, that works for either Firefox or Chrome. Again, the only exception to that would be an asset site that can only be viewed in Internet Explorer, which is a very rare exception. So once we've entered all that information, we will enter the property address. Of the subject property. If you have a loan number, enter it here, but that is not a required field. Same with borrower. The city of the subject, state, zip, whether it is an interior or exterior BPO. Your lockbox code, that is a required field, so if you do not have one, enter any number you'd like, and the asset fee being paid to you by the servicer. If there are any files you'd like to upload onto this BPO, such as instructions if you're assigning this to one of your agents as the broker, any notes you'd like to make, and then finally assign it to someone in your brokerage or leave it open to be claimed. This section right here is for any required photos you'd like to make on the BPO. This is very important that you know that photos on BPOs that were not assigned within our system will not be transferred when the BPO is sent to the asset servicer outside of our system. So once we click Save, the BPO that we just created is now in our list of active BPOs for us to complete. We'll go over some of these columns. We have the reference number of the BPO that we entered when it was created, the asset company that ordered the BPO, the address of the subject, and you can click the address of the subject to open the form to work on the BPO, the due date, how many days, the agent it's been assigned to. Notice this is still an open BPO that has not been claimed, so this is blank. The paid asset fee, interior or exterior, the form that it's on, in this case the comps only form, and then all of our functions. Remember, in any section you always have a legend at the bottom that will tell you what these functions represent. So we'll start over here where we have notes, any notes that you'd like to add to the BPO. If the BPO is assigned to you by a company within our system, such as Green River Capital, and you claim it down here, any notes that you enter by clicking on Notes are visible by the asset manager. Our next function here is our green flag where we can claim it. The system will confirm, yes, we'd like to claim it. And once we claim it, notice that flag has now changed to a complete button. That complete button has a redundancy. You can click here, or again, you can click the address to open the form to complete the BPO. Our next function is the request time function. If you're an agent that has been assigned this BPO in the system by your broker, you can request additional time here, or if the BPO is assigned to you by an asset manager within the system, you're requesting additional time of the asset manager directly. This next function allows you to view a map of the property. You can zoom in, zoom out. The details that were just entered when we created the BPO. This little pencil allows us to edit those details. Then, of course, this last red X would be to delete the BPO. So we will actually go into the BPO now to complete it by clicking on the address. And now we have a blank BPO form. To start at the top, we want to fill in the information that is not already entered, such as today's date that you're working on it, the county, and parcel number. The rest of this information is automatically filled from the information entered when the BPO was created. And then we have our subject and sold comp information here. Notice there are 3 columns for sold. The 4th has a checkbox because it is optional. If the asset servicer that you're creating this BPO for requires 4 sold comps, you can open that here. Otherwise, it is grayed out, so it cannot be edited. And we have 2 different options to fill the information for each property. One option is via the RETS connection, which we discussed at the beginning of the webinar. If you do have a RETS connection that was approved by your MLS, you want to verify that you have the correct MLS listed here above MLS number. If you have multiple MLSs on your account, you can click that MLS name, select the correct one by the arrow button over here, and then make sure that you have the correct property type that you're trying to import, in this case residential. Once that information is correct, we'll select that MLS, click the blank MLS field underneath, and simply enter an MLS number. Once we've entered the MLS number, by clicking this green button, as you can see, the system has imported all of the information for the subject based solely on that MLS number. So we move to sold comp number 1, enter another MLS number, click the import button, and sold comp number 1 is filled. We'll continue to do that for sold comp 2 and 3. And once we've filled all 3 properties on this first page, we'll move to the bottom and click submit page, and that completes the first page. Obviously, if you have any pluses and minuses to do in dollar values, any comments to make, you want to do that first before you click submit. If you do not have a RETS connection, our other option is to import this data via a CSV file. A CSV file is simply a data file on a spreadsheet or text document that you can download from your MLS containing all of the listing data for your subject and all 6 of your comps on that one single file. Many of our users prefer this option as it can be slightly faster than a direct RETS connection, as you don't have to enter each property individually. You upload that single file and it fills all 7 properties simultaneously. So once you've gone to your MLS and downloaded that file containing all 7 properties, you would click Fill from CSV File, click Browse to locate that file on your computer, click Upload, and if this is the first time that you've used a CSV file in your account, you will have to map that file in our system. Now what that means is you're taking each column on the CSV file and matching it to a column on our form. A common example is it may be called street number on your file, but it's called house number on our form. So we'll start, for example, with cooling. Click the drop down on our form and find the appropriate column to match it up with, which would be heating and cooling. List date will match up with list date. Once you've done this for every value that you can, some of these values on your form may not be necessary for our form, so you can leave them blank where they say none. Once you've done that with every value that you can, you're going to come down here and click Save New Field Name Group. Name it after your MLS. And then when you move on, that mapping is saved for the future so you don't have to match these columns again. Next time you upload a file and come to this screen, you can simply go to Select Map and find the mapping that you've created previously. Notice how these columns fill automatically. Once we move to the next step, the system has a list of all the properties that are on this file. Now this file only has 3 properties on it. You typically want to have all of your properties on the one single file, but for the purposes of the webinar, this will work. And you tell the system that the first property is either your subject, comp sold 1, list comp 1, etc., by selecting that category right here. And when we're done, we click Add Values to Form. And you'll notice that all of these fields have filled via our CSV file. So we submit the page. If we had all 7 properties on one single file, our second page would already be filled as well. So once you move to that page, you can spend your time adding and subtracting values and making any comments. The last section is where you actually enter your property values. Any comments under here? We'll click Submit Page. And this third page is where you can upload any photos. Now I noticed that we had a question about this. If the BPO was assigned through Realty Pilot's software by a company like Green River Capital, they see this form on their side as well as you seeing it on your side. So when you upload these photos by clicking Select One or More Photos to Upload, as soon as you complete this BPO, they can see all those photos along with the BPO. Now if you're using this form for a BPO that you've claimed outside of our software, whether that be for Fannie Mae or Mark to Market, etc., the reason the photos do not transfer is because we are not actually transferring our completed form. You are simply completing the form on our side so that our system has all of the data, which will then be transferred onto a new form on the asset side, and photos do not go with that. So once we've uploaded all of our photos, so in that case you would be using photos to keep for your record if you wanted to, otherwise you could leave that blank. Once you've uploaded all your photos, we'll click Complete. We have the option to review our first page, second page, or our pictures page. Once we're done, we'll click Complete again. And that BPO is no longer in our Active tab. It is now under our To Be Paid tab. Here it is. So once you've done this, you are actually done with our software for this BPO. What you want to do is go up here to Support, click on Browser Extensions. This is where you download and install our browser extension for either Firefox or Chrome. The browser extension will actually give you a drop-down, and notice I have it up here in my corner. It will give you a drop-down menu containing all of your completed BPOs to be filled on asset sites. Make sure before you do this step that you have the most current version of either Firefox or Chrome before you attempt to download it. We also have a short video underneath for you to watch as a refresher course. It's only about a minute long. So assuming that you've already downloaded and installed the browser extension, the next thing that you would do is navigate to your asset company's website. This is our sample asset company. Log into the asset site and navigate to the Open BPO form. Once you are on the Open BPO form on the asset site, you're going to go up to your Concourse 360 browser extension, click on it, sign in, once you're signed in, you'll get a prompt in the lower right-hand corner that you have been signed in. Return to the extension, click it for a drop-down. Now notice we have lists of our to be paid and completed comps only BPOs. Since that one was under to be paid, we'll navigate to the BPO we're trying to fill. Click on it. And when you see this prompt, Realty Pilot extension finished, that first page has been filled with the BPO that you just completed in our system. If there's another page on the BPO with the asset site, we'll click to move forward to the next page. Go back to the extension. Notice that the logo next to that particular BPO has turned green. That means that you've already filled one page, and we'll click it again. And once you get the prompt, the second page has been completed as well. And you'll repeat this for as many pages as are on that particular BPO. Upload your pictures to the asset servicer, and the BPO has been completed. That simple. Moving on from actual BPO functionality, we'll get into some of our reporting. Again, by going to Properties, BPOs, and then Reports. We have two different types of reports. We have a BPO completion report that will show you how many BPOs have been done by a particular agent for a particular asset servicer, etc., and a financial report, which shows what kind of fees you're getting from particular servicers, how much in dollars are being generated by a particular agent in those fees, etc. So we'll start with the BPO completion report. We have a list of everyone working in our brokerage. This is the BPO agent revenue report. Notice we have an expand search so that you can filter this report by a particular client, again by an agent, and a set of dates. We have the BPO asset revenue, which is the same report, but is sorted now by asset company as opposed to agent. And the BPO status report. This shows you how much in dollars you have in active BPOs, to be paid BPOs, paid, etc. And again, you can always click expand and filter this by client, agent, or a set of dates. Our financial report just tracks the amount in dollars you've had in asset fees paid to you, that you've paid to your agents, etc. by the month. And by expanding the search, you can filter it down to a specific set of dates. Click go and regenerate that custom report. Now, most importantly is our accounting feature of the BPO-Traffic-Controller. Now, if you recall, when we create a BPO, it is automatically under our active BPO list until we complete it. Once we complete it, it remains under the to be paid list until we've told the system that the asset servicer has paid us for that particular BPO. So to do that, we navigate to this accounting tab, and we have a list of all of our to be paid BPOs. We can select a particular BPO by clicking the checkbox to the right, and under the asset company paid column, we click there. We enter a date that we received the check from the asset company. Enter a check number, and when we click Save, the system now reflects that we have been paid by the asset servicer for that BPO. Now when it comes time to pay the agent that completed the BPO for you as a broker, that's what the company paid columns are for. We'll do the same thing. Select that BPO, enter the date that we paid or will pay the agent, enter a check number, and click Save, and that BPO has disappeared from our to be paid list under the accounting tab. We can search for a particular BPO again by clicking expanding search. We can search by address, city, reference number, asset company, agent, etc. And our last feature of BPO-Traffic-Controller is the comments library. The comment library is simply where you can add quote-unquote canned comments. If you use particular comments quite a bit, you can enter them and save them here so that when you're filling the comments section on the BPO form, you can simply select them from a list as opposed to typing a long drawn-out comment by hand. Again, the expanded search will allow you to search through your comments by the name or the body of the comment. Now, if you navigate to Admin and go to Settings, we have all of our BPO settings, which are the only ones we're going to go over today since we're only covering BPO-Traffic-Controller and not Concourse. Under Accounting, we had the ability to say we've been paid by the asset company and now we are paying the agent. This is where we tell the system how much we pay the agent of the asset fee that was paid to us by the servicer. And you have the choice of either a percentage-based or a flat fee. The flat fee is based on dollar amount ranges, so if a BPO is less than $50, you as the broker pay the agent $40. Between $50 and $100, you may pay $70, etc., etc. And then you select the email addresses that you would like to have for different functions, such as if you send an email from the account, this is the name that it's coming from, the email that it's coming from, the admin on your account. If a BPO is sent back in quality control, who you'd like to be notified that the asset manager has sent it to, if it's past due, etc. And by clicking Save, all of those settings are automatic for every single BPO. Last but not least, we'll go over our Support tab. Under the Support tab, we have quite a few different resources for you as a customer if you have a question or need some additional training. Number one being our knowledge base. Our knowledge base is simply a collection of articles on varying topics. You can type in a topic, for example, Fannie Mae, and you'll get a list of articles that match that topic. For BPO-Traffic-Controller, the reason I show this one is many people are looking for definitions of C1 through C6, etc., to verify that they have the correct definitions for completing a BPO on the eFannie Mae form. Next, we have our video library under Support and Training. By clicking on Training, you're in our video library. We have a number of training videos on varying topics. A very popular one is the import from CSV file. If you do not obtain a RETS connection from your MLS, you can always watch this video as a refresher course. And if you are doing a BPO for a company that is only viewable in Internet Explorer, you will want to watch this Internet Explorer iMacros tutorial. That will walk you through the process of sending the video from our system to their site, as it's a little different because you will not be using our new Realty Pilot extension. You can open a live chat, which is simply a private chat room with one of our agents. You can submit a ticket if it is after hours and you have an issue that you'd like resolved. You can submit a ticket which will automatically be assigned to one of our agents when they get in. We have our notification library. Any updates in the software, new features that are added will be shown to you in the form of a notification as soon as you log in. And by clicking on notifications here, you can view a library of past notifications. Again, by clicking here, you can download the appropriate browser extension. I do want to remind everyone to make sure that they have at least Firefox version 13 before they attempt to download that extension. And again, if you need a refresher course, you can click here for a quick tutorial. Download iMacros. That would be relevant to, again, asset companies that are only viewable in Internet Explorer, and you'll want to watch that video. You can always give us a call, and I'm going to enter our telephone number here in the chat for everyone to see, or send us an email to support@realtypilot.com with any questions or if you have any further needs. That concludes our webinar for today on BPO Traffic Controller. I am going to mute my microphone, but I will stay online for the next 5 minutes or so that if any of you have any additional questions, you can raise your hand or type them into the chat and I will answer them as I can. And beyond that, if you need anything, please feel free to peruse our knowledge base, video library, open a live chat, give us a call, or send us an email. We look forward to hearing from all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.